Hi everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we'll start the session in another 2 minutes. Let us wait for some more people to join.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. A very good evening to you all. So let us start the session for today. So let us start with the assignments that I've given you the last class. So if you have tried, you can just discuss. Like the first question is, what is the equivalent operation for XR using and or and not? So anyone who can answer for this? Is my voice clear? I'm not able to get you. Hello.
Sir, we can hear you, but the sound is not clear.
Is it clear now?
Yes, now it is clear.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, fine. So let me give the answer for this. So it is nothing but suppose A and B are the two inputs. Okay, so we write A XOR B, right? Okay, so we A and so forth. Right. Actually, B naught plus A naught and plus means R. Okay, so R and B. Okay, so this is the actual expression. Okay, so you can see that for A and B, both are false. You're getting a false, right? Let us take this help. Okay, so what is A and B naught? So if you see here, A and B naught, okay, or A naught and B, okay. So A and B naught. So A is false, and B naught. If it is false, it will be made as true, right? Okay. So what is A and B naught? A and B naught is nothing but it is also false, right? So like over here, A and not of B. So here A is false, okay, and not of B. So B is true, so not of B is sorry, B is false, so not of B is true, right? So false and true is going to give you false only, right? So this is for the first example, first row, okay? So not of A and B, okay? So A is false, so not of A, not of false is true, and then B is false, okay? So true and false is again going to give you false. So false or false. Okay, false or false is what? This false only, right? Okay. So this is the expression. So what is your task is to just apply these two values. Okay, for this list of these three rows, you're going to apply these two and just identify that you're getting the correct result or not. Okay. So I've given you the answer. This is the answer. What you have to do is just apply these two inputs and then check whether you're getting the correct output for this expression. Okay, fine. So next question I asked you is what is the equivalent operation for right shift? So anyone wants to answer for this? Yeah, very good. So Bhumika has given the answer. This A, is it normal division or floor division, Bhumika?
Normal division.
Actually, normal division, what happens is if there is any decimal point, that will also be coming as the output. For example,
Okay.
5 divided by 2 is 2.5, right?
Yeah, yeah, understood. Floor division.
Yeah, it should be a floor division. X floor division 2 to the power n. Okay, n is the number of shifts. So x right shift n is nothing but x floor division 2 to the power n. Yeah. So now coming to the third question. Has anyone done this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you explain how to do this? Can you quickly write a program for this? Yeah. You can do it. So first we need to take three inputs, right?
Yes, ABC.
Yes, sir. ABC.
Yeah. Do you remember the map statement that I've told you? How to take multiple
Mapping
inputs
and
in single lines?
splitting.
Yeah. Map of.
Int, comma, input, dot split.
Yeah. Comma input of dot split. Yeah. Okay. So now I've taken three angles. Now next. Next, what should we do?
Then
If
okay.
if the angles are equal or they are
Hmm.
60 degrees, then it is an equilateral triangle.
Yeah, correct. So can you tell it as a condition?
Pardon?
Can you tell it as a if condition?
If
If
A equal B
equal B,
equal C, and that is equal 60.
again double equal to C. No, this we should write it as separate conditions. A double equal B and B double equal C. Okay, this is to check whether all three angles are same. Okay, and then one more important thing is they should be equal to 60. See, okay, one more thing that can be done is first, can you tell me how, given the angles of a triangle, can you validate that the angles given are valid angles?
First, we can take the sum is equal to A
180
plus B
degrees.
plus C.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
very
then
good.
if sum is equal to 180 degree, then we can proceed with this block. Else we
Yeah,
will write invalid triangle.
Yeah.
correct. Great. So if A plus B plus C is equal to 180, to proceed with this logic. Very good. Okay, now A double equals B and B double equals C, then it is an equilateral triangle. Okay, then what is the next triangle that we have to check?
Then what I have done is if A double equal to C
Hmm.
or A double equal to B or B double
Hmm.
equal to C.
A double equals C or
A double equal B
B double equals C,
or A double equal B.
A double equals B.
B.
Okay.
Then inside that block, one more if statement.
Okay. If
If A is equal to 90 degree, double equal 90, or
okay.
B double equal 90,
Hmm.
or C double equal 90,
Very good.
then print right isosceles triangle.
Yeah. Good.
And then else print isosceles triangle.
Yes. Just create isosceles. Okay.
Isosceles triangle. And then else.
Yes.
If A
If
double equal,
yeah.
yes, same thing will come here. 90. Print right scale and triangle.
Good. Right
L,
scale.
mm, else print scale and triangle.
Yeah. Good.
And then outside this block
Hmm.
else invalid triangle.
Else invalid. So this is the correct solution. Okay, so very good. So one common mistake that people do is first they check whether it is an isosceles triangle, and after that they check whether it's right angle isosceles. That is actually a mistake. Why? Because if it is an right angle isosceles triangle, then it is also an isosceles triangle, right? So first, what happens? Even though if it is a right angle isosceles triangle, it will be printing as isosceles triangle only. Why? Because this condition would be coming first. Okay, that mistake people mostly do, but good. Without any mistake, you've given me the right answer. Yeah. Any doubts in this? Anyone? No doubts, right? Okay. Yes, good. Now coming to the last assignment. Given n value, okay, the value of n 7, 9, 11, like that. Print the following pattern. Yes. Can anyone give the answer for this? First, I'll take the input. Yeah. Now, anyone wants to give a try now?
Sir, I will try.
Yeah, please.
For I in range of n plus
For I
1,
range of
n plus
n.
1,
Oh,
plus
n plus
1.
1.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to print up to 7, then we need to take n plus 1.
No, see, actually, I could hear some noise. Who said 17? Why?
My sir.
176 Y1 A0 standing. Hi Sam, welcome. Yeah. What is your good name?
My name, sir.
Yeah,
Abhishek, sir.
Abhishek. Okay. Yeah, proceed Abhishek. See here, if you give a
Yeah.
range as n itself, 7 times the loop will run. Correct? No, because the value starts from 0.
Okay,
0,
but
1, 2, 3, 4,
yes,
5,
sir. But
6.
it prints up to 6, I think.
Yeah, but you should run this loop only for 7 times. No, if you give it as n plus 1, what happens is it runs for 8
Okay,
times,
okay, sir.
starting from
Okay,
0. Okay, so
okay.
this range of n only. Then
For J in range of n,
range of n.
n condition if I is equal to j, then print star.
Okay, now we are trying to print the diagonal star, this star, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the property of this diagonal? You
What,
can
sir?
see for all these, what is the property of this diagonal?
Same. I mean, I and j values are same,
Right?
sir.
Correct. Okay. So only for this diagonal, you can see that ij values will be same. Okay, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. Right? So if
Yes, sir.
I double equals j,
Print
print
star.
of star. Okay, and then n is equal
End
to
is equal.
6. Okay, then
Then else if I mean if I not equal to j, then it become print as
no, what about the right diagonal? Left
just else
diagonal,
right diagonal. Okay.
left diagonal is this condition. For right diagonal,
Again, we need to take any for loop. No.
no, for that also, see here I have put a condition, right? Like that,
Yeah.
this right diagonal would also have a property. We should find
But
what is
the,
the property.
I mean, n minus 1, n minus 2.
Others, if you're not able to follow, kindly tell me. I will explain again. No problem in that. Okay. See, if you see the
minus
right,
1 is equal to I plus j.
no. Could you come again? Just now someone answered. I think it is correct only.
N minus 1 is equal to I.
I plus j, right? Yeah, that is the correct answer. So you can see I plus j for every right diagonal position. I plus j would be equal to n minus 1. Okay. So here, what is this? 0 comma 6, right? The position of I comma j is what? 0 comma 6. What is 0 plus 6? It is 6 only. It is nothing but n minus 1, right? So here it is 1 comma 5, right? So 1 plus 5 is 6. So n minus 1 is also 6. Here it is 2 comma 4, right? This is 2 comma 4. This is 3 comma 3. This is 4 comma 2. This is 5 comma 1 and 6 comma 0. Understood? For all the right diagonal, if you take any other values and just put the addition, you will not be getting n minus 1 as the answer. Only for the right diagonal values, x plus y, that is I plus j, will give you n minus 1. Okay. So instead of writing it as a separate condition, you can also put it as a or condition. Okay. So because anyway, this is also a star, right? This is also a star. So or I plus j is equal to n minus 1, then also you print a star, right? So now simply in the else part, you can print what? Abhishek?
Hash. I mean,
Yeah. Hash equal space and then print empty print. That's it. So you got a pattern here. So there are a lot of other interesting patterns as well. We'll discuss two more patterns. Okay. A similar pattern. So I want one of you to try this now itself. So understandable pattern, right? So here you're splitting this into four parts. Okay. So the top part and bottom part are hashes, left and right parts are dollars, and the diagonals are stars. So who would like to give a try?
J less than I or J greater than I?
I didn't get you. Your voice is echoing.
No, it's clear, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me, Abhishek.
For j less than I or for j greater than I.
For j less than I or j greater than I, what will happen for that? Which one you are trying to print?
Dollar. I mean dollar to print dollar.
To print dollar, j less than I.
Yeah.
So here j is not less than I, right?
I mean j less than I or j greater than I. I'm saying.
J less than I, j greater than I means both the portions will be filled in. That only.
Okay.
See these kinds of patterns, what you can do is, let me show you this. Simply first get the framework. Okay, just put a dot. So if you do this, what happens? We just have the framework over here. Okay, now we can start building. First, I will fill the diagram. This should be the last else part. Okay. Okay. So now let us see what would be the what will be printed if I give I greater than j. I greater than j print hash. Okay. So in all these portions, you can see that I is greater than j. Okay, and you can see that this portion is also getting filled with hash. Okay, so I want this particular portion alone to be filled with hash, not this portion. So the property of this portion would be, see, like we have the property for this diagonal, right? Is nothing but I plus j equal to n minus 1. So for the right diagonal, the property is I plus j is equal to n minus 1. See, for this portion alone, okay, or for this portion, okay, bottom portion should be star, a hash, right? So this portion alone should be hash. So you can see that just take any value. Okay, what is the ij value for this particular hash? Five comma 3, right? 5 comma 3. So what is 5 plus 3? Is equal to 8. Okay, so you can see that I plus j value for all this portion, it is greater than n minus 1, right? So it's greater than n minus 1. So I'm going to put this as a condition. So if I is greater than j and I plus j is greater than n minus 1, then alone you print hash. Okay. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So now, what about this top portion? What is the property of this portion? Can you tell me as a condition? Similar to the previous one? See, for all these entire portion, okay, so for all this entire portion, you can see that I is less than j, right? Else
Will
I,
it be I less than j and I plus j less than n minus 1?
yes, correct. And I plus j is less than n minus 1. Then also you print hash. Okay. So now the top portion and bottom portion are done. The remaining part is the left and right only, right? So I have put an else condition and put a dot. Instead of this dot, just replace it with dollar. Okay. Now we get the answer. So this is how we have to solve the pattern problems. Now if I give a larger value, we get a larger pattern. Any doubts in this, anyone? Okay, fine. So this is one kind of a pattern. Other kind of pattern, you have a combination of patterns in a single question. So how would it look like this? Suppose if I give 5, so I want this kind of a pattern to be printed. Anyone wants to give a try for this?
Yes, sir. I greater than or equal to j and I plus j is equal to n minus 1.
Here it is a 5 cross 5, and then you have 5 cross 6.
5 cross 6.
Your answer is correct. Only thing is you have to make the column loop run for 6 times. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
So that is one solution, fine. So I'll give you another solution. Is there anyone else wants to try a different solution? You have to visualize it in a different manner. Okay, fine. I'll tell you. See, what you have to do for these kinds of pattern is you can possibly split. So these are two distinct patterns, right? So you can possibly split these patterns into two patterns. So first, the star pattern. And then after removing these stars, how would this hash pattern look like? The first row you have 5 hashes. The second row you have 4 hashes, which are concentrated on the left, right? So I have removed the stars. So it will be moved towards the left side, right? So these are the two patterns that I would get. Now you write the logic separately. Okay, for this pattern separately and this pattern separately. Keeping one thing in mind that the I loop should be common for both the patterns. Okay. So like, can I tell the solution for this? If I give 5, I want this star pattern to be printed. For I in
range of n,
10,
or j in range of I.
range of I or I
I
plus 1.
plus 1, I plus 1, I plus 1.
I plus 1.
Print star.
Then star.
And is equal.
So this will print the star pattern. Okay, now the hash pattern. I told you you should not change the I loop. I loop should be common. Then only you'll get it. You can achieve this pattern. Okay. So keeping this I loop, how can I print this hash? Now I should define the j loop for j in what? See here I have n. Okay, so I is going to start from 0, right? It's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Got it? The first time I is going to be 0,
I minus
and I want 5 values to be printed. So I should subtract I from n. That's it. Just put n minus I. So first time n is 5, I is 0, right? So n minus 0, that is 5 minus 0 is 5. So you get range of 5. So you get 5 hashes. And then in the second iteration, I becomes 1, n is still 5, right? So 5 minus 1 is 4. So in the second iteration, 0 will run for 4 times, I get a 4 hashes. That's it. So print of hash comma and print. Okay. So 5. See, I got the two distinct patterns. Okay. So what's the star pattern and the hash pattern? And one thing you can see is the I loop is common. Okay. Now, how to combine these two patterns is just remove this loop, that is the second I loop, and the last print statement of the previous iteration, previous pattern printing. Okay. Just remove this. So instead of removing, I will simply comment. Okay. So to better understand, I comment this last print statement of the first pattern and the for loop, the first for loop of the second pattern. Just comment these both statements. Now I execute. You will get the comment pattern. Understood how to write the code for this comment patterns? So you can build any number of patterns over here. Next, you can use add symbol, then exclamation symbol to build another pattern. So like that, you can build any number of patterns towards the right hand side. Okay, so if that is the case, then this is the logic. So write all the patterns individually. Just keep on removing. So if there are three patterns, then again you will be having a nested for loop, right? The next statement. So there also you remove the last print statement. Okay. So this print statement and the next for loop will be removed. So that the third pattern will be combined with the both the patterns. Are you able to follow? Any doubts in this?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Now I'll give you an interesting task. See, where are you finding patterns? Can you give examples? Where are you find these patterns? See, in all the graphic designs and all, you see all the patterns on the right. Circle, okay, and then everywhere you can see patterns. So these simple patterns can be found in the national flags. Okay, so one such example or one such exercise I'm going to give is the national flag. So this is one of the simple flags. Okay, so yeah, so this one we already solved, right? Okay, South Africa. Okay, we shall try to form a pattern using this South African flag. Okay, so this green part is broader, right? We can to just to simplify it, we can consider it as a single line, okay? And then this red color, blue color, and black color, these all considered as larger areas. Okay, this one is green color. We're going to consider it as a single line, and so just for simplicity, we can eliminate this white color and yellow color. We can assume that there are four colors. Okay, one is green, red, blue, and black. Okay, sorry, green. We are going to make it as a star. Okay, and then black. Black is hyphen. Red is hash. Blue dollar. So if I give the input as 7, okay, I want this output. So I have a star. Okay. And then you have the red color for this hash. Oh, sorry, it's dollars. Okay, so if I give 7, I want a 7 cross 7 pattern in this manner. Okay, this is actually simple only. You just give a try to it. So this is the first assignment for the next class. Any doubts in this assignment?
No, sir.
Okay. So now next let us go. Yeah. So while loop was pending, right? Yesterday we discussed about the for loop. Next is the while loop. So I told you that while loop is used for doing the normal looping statements. Okay. So for loop is used for specifically iterating over the sequence data types. Okay. And while loop is used for doing the general loops, normal loops. Okay. So yeah. So for any looping statement, three important things are there. Okay. So one is the I, which is the initialization. Second is C, the condition. And third is U, updation. Okay, ICU. Okay. So these three are these three will form a loop actually. If any one is missing, also loop will not work correctly. Okay, either it will lead to an infinite loop or the loop itself will not run. Either of the things will happen. So these three things are very very important. Okay. So now I'll tell you how to form. See, these three things are also there in for loop, but they are hidden. Okay. Whereas in while loop, they have to explicitly mention which is I, which is C, and which is U. Fine. One simple example for while loop is find the sum of the digits of a given integer. Okay, the integer can contain any number of digits. It can be a 3-digit number, a 5-digit number, even 10-digit number. Okay, but you should find the sum of the digits. For example, the input is 1234. Okay, the output is 10. Right? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 10. Right? So I want this output. Yeah. So can you tell the answer for this?
N is equal to int input.
Sorry?
I mean, first. N is equal to int input.
Ah, very good.
And then
Okay.
while n greater than 0,
Okay.
while n
Directly
greater
while.
than or
Do we need any other variable or directly while?
I mean, we need to take sum and I.
Hmm.
Sum
What
is
is the
equal
purpose
to
of I?
0.
Okay,
I
sum
is
is equal to
equal.
0. What is the purpose of the sum variable?
To add the digits of a given number.
Hmm.
No, sir.
Okay.
If we, firstly we need to divide. We need to for 1 to 3. 120 1234 by 10. We need to do 1234 by 10.
Hmm.
So we get the remainder 4. So we need to add 4 to the sum, and then again we need to perform the same 123 by 10. Again we need to add the 3 to
Hmm.
sum. So like that.
Okay. When will you stop?
When n less than, we are taking the condition while n greater than 0. So
Hmm. Okay.
when it
If
reaches
n
0,
equal,
then it
0.
The
Yeah,
loop
then yeah,
terminated.
correct. Very good. Okay, so I'll quickly explain the process. So initially I have n is equal to 1234. Now what we have to do is I'll take the s some variable which is equal to initially 0. Okay, and then now I'll take a d variable digit which is going to take the last digit of n and store in itself. Okay, d is a variable which is going to store the last digit of n. So how to take the last digit of a variable? What operation should I do?
Modulus.
Percentile by 10. N percentile by 10.
Modulus operation.
Yeah, modulus. Okay.
One, so that is n modulo what?
10.
10.
Yeah. So this will give the last digit, which is nothing but 4 modulo 10 4. Right. So d is holding the last digit. Now immediately see this d is a temporary variable inside the loop. Okay. So immediately I should store this inside yes. Else what happens? Next time d will be replaced with some other value 3. So before replacing, I should just take this value and store this or add it with this. Okay. So s is equal to s plus d. So yesterday I told you shorthand notation. Do you remember? You are updating s only, right? So you can write like this, or you can write yes. What is the shorthand notation for this statement?
Plus is equal to D.
Yeah. So yes plus equal to d. Yeah. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to remove the last digit from n. So now we have taken the last digit and added it with yes. Now we can remove this last digit from n. So how to do that?
Flow division. I mean, N is equals to N. N
N equal to
N.
n flow
Flow
division
division with 10.
with 10. Okay. So n is equal to n flow division 10. Now what will happen to n? It will become 123. Now I'll keep on doing this until n becomes 0. Okay. So now n is 123. What is d? D is equal to 123 mod 10. You get 3. S plus equal to d. So now s is equal to. So here what happens to s? Is equal to 4, right? So 0 plus 4 is 4. Now s was previously 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. So s is equal to 7. So n is equal to n modulo, sorry, n double floor division 10. So this 123 will be converted to 12. Okay. So we quickly complete this. Now d is equal to last digit is 2, right? So s is equal to 7 plus 2, which is nothing but 9. So now I can update. Now n is equal to 1. Okay. So d is equal to 1, s is equal to 10, and n is equal to 0. Now I will stop the iteration. Okay. So why n not equal to 0? So we have to just perform these operations. That's it. So first operation, what we have to do? N, sorry, d equal to d modulo 10. Sorry, d equal to n modulo 10. And then s is equal, s plus equal to d, and then n. Here also you can use those shorthand notation. N floor division equal to 10. Okay, instead of writing n equal to n floor division 10, you can also write n floor division equal to 10. Okay, that's it. Finally, you print s. Okay, sum is equal to 10. Any doubts in this? So this is the while loop. Okay, while loop. I given an example as well. Now you have to tell me. I told you three steps are there, right? I, C, and U. Now tell me which is I, which is C, and which is U.
D is initialized with n percentile by 10.
Sorry,
I mean D is the initialization.
D is the initialization.
S is initialization.
See, actually, initialization will not happen multiple times. Initialization is a single time process. Okay, so it should be out of the while loop. That too before the while loop. Okay, so here S is equal to 0 is looking like initialization, but actually not. Okay, so this is initialization. N equal to int. Okay. So this statement comes under the part of the logic. Okay, so we're using S to add up all the digits, right? Okay. So actual initialization with respect to while loop is this one. This is also initialization, but not part of the while loop. Okay. So now, obviously, this is the condition.
Condition.
N not equal to 0 is a condition. Now, which is the updation?
S plus is equal to D.
No.
No, decrement. I mean n mod n flow division
Yeah.
with 10.
Yeah. Right. Right. So this is again the part of the logic. Okay, you are adding the digit with sum, right? So this is part of the logic. So this will come under updation. Got it? Any doubts?
Generally in C we take I as initializer, no? I mean for I is equal to 0, like
That is in for loop. See, instead of I can use any variable, right? So here I've used n. That's it. So instead of n, I can put I also, right?
okay. First we need to assign I with n, huh?
No. If we were instead
No,
of
I mean that before while loop, if we take I is equal to n, then we can initialize with I and then we can run the while loop. So then I will become initializer.
no, why do you want a separate variable? Already the purpose is solved, right?
Okay.
See, it is not that you should always use I for iteration.
Okay.
Okay. So this is all about while loop. Again, you can use nesting. Okay, so while loop inside while loop, or you can use while loop inside a for loop inside a while loop. Any number of nestings you can put. Okay, fine. Yeah. So in for loop, we have an additional advantage. Okay. So you can use else in for loop. Okay. For I will give you an example. I in range of n. Okay. Suppose n is equal to 5. N is equal to 6. Okay. Now what I will do is if n or I, not n, it's I, okay, mod 4. If I find the first, okay, let me put it directly. I just want to break the loop, okay. If I is equal to 4, break. So what is the purpose of this break statement? We haven't discussed it earlier, right? So the purpose of break statement is to stop the iteration of the loop. Whenever this condition is true, okay, so this loop will run perfectly till 4. Once the I reaches 4, it will break and come out of the loop. Okay, I'll just put it over here. I'll just print I. You can see the different values of I, okay? So after it comes out of the loop, I'm putting an else statement and should see that this else is not the else for this if condition. Okay, this is parallelly coming with for, right? So this else is for this for loop. Okay. So else print off and put some prompts here. Okay, inside else. Reached 4. Okay. Because once I reach 4, I should break, right? So I'm just printing some message. Now let me run the program. Okay, sorry. Okay. So this will run. Okay, so a small mistake. So here what happens when does this else statement will execute is that once the for loop runs for the entire number of times. So here range is n, right? Okay, so 6 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when will this see the loop will run from 0 till 5, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once it reaches 6, then it will come out of break out of this loop. So it means what? The condition somewhere is becoming false. Okay, then it will, once the condition becomes false, the else statement will get executed. Okay, so first I'll execute this and then I'll explain it again. So can you see this else is for this for loop, and here what happened is I in range of n. So if I is inside the range of n, then the condition would be true. Then the statement inside the for loop will be printing. Once I exceeds, then what happens? The condition will become false. Once the condition becomes false, the else part will start executing. Okay, inside the else part we have the statement and got printed. Okay. Now let me break. If I is equal to 4, break. Now if I execute, the else part is not running. Why? Because the condition is still true, right? I is still inside within the range of 6 only, 0 to 6 only. Because at 4 itself, it got broke and came out of the for loop. Since the condition is true and it came out of the loop, the else part is not executing. Are you able to follow?
Sir,
So can you explain again?
Yeah, I'll do it. See, let me first remove this. So here the range is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So it runs for 6 times, and once it reaches 6, so next value is 6, right? So what happens? It will come out of the range. So only within this range is going to get executed, right? So once all the values are getting got executed, it will come out of the for loop. And what happens here is this else part will execute only if there is a break. Okay, only if there's a break, and that is only if this entire loop, suppose if it breaks in between, these two statements are not, if it's not getting executed, then only the else part will get executed. Why? Because the condition will still be true. Okay, I'll repeat again. See, for I in range of n, so this will run for 6 times. So once it runs for 6 times, what happens? See, you can take this while loop itself. Okay. N is equal to 6, I is equal to 0, while I less than n, print I is equal to 1. Okay, so this is the equivalent while loop for this for loop. Okay, I've initialized I as 0, and then I less than n, and then print I, and after that I'm incrementing I. So this is what will happen, right? So what happens once it comes out of outside? Okay, so outside the loop, the value of I is 6, right? So, like if the value of I is 6, it means what? It is out of the range, right? It means the condition is false. So, if the condition is false, obviously the else statement should get executed. So, that is why if the entire for loop is getting executed, okay, so this else part will execute. Once it comes out of this range, else part will get executed. If the I is still within the range, the else part will not get executed. Understood the logic? Yeah. Still confusing or see a simple rule I'll tell. If the for loop is executing for without any breaks, okay, the for loop is executing without any break for all the values in this range, then the else part will get executed. If it breaks in between, else part will not get executed. That's it. You just simply remember this simple rule. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, if we have to print L inside else and comma reach end of the loop, then sir,
No,
why
I
are we
didn't get it.
putting it
If
in
you want
the
to print,
else part?
sorry, if you want to print what?
If you have to print the last statement inside else reached end of for loop, then why are we putting it in the else part? We could have put it without else also, but outside for loop, then also it would have been printed after the for
Yeah,
loop is ending.
a good question. Suppose if this for loop breaks in between, I don't want this statement to be printed. Okay, so if I is equal to 4 break. Okay, so now what happens is once I reaches 4, it will break out of this for loop. Okay, and still I would be within the range, right? Because I is only 4. So now what happens? The condition is still not false. So else part will not be executed. Okay, see?
Sir, sir,
Yeah,
sir, can you mention some of the applications where we use this else for else?
yeah, correct. So here, wherever there is a need for a flag variable. Okay, so flag variable, where do we use a flag variable is uh, like okay, so let us what is the logic for finding whether a given number is prime or not?
In percentile by 2. Oh no, I mean, this is
Hmm? What's the prime number?
if it has more than one factor, one and itself.
If it does,
Two factors.
Prime is nothing but
Just
one and itself.
divisible by the number itself and 1.
yeah. So how many factors does it have?
2.
Hmm. A number which has exactly two factors. Okay, and first rule for a prime number is it should be a natural number. So we are not going to define for 0 or any negative numbers whether it is prime or not. Okay, the rules are applied only for natural numbers. And we should have exactly two devices, not more, not less. Okay? So then only it's a prime number. So what is a composite number?
which has more than 2 factors.
Yeah. So first rule is it should be a natural number. And second is more than 2 factors. Okay. So what is 1? Is it a prime number or a composite number? One is neither prime nor composite.
Neither prime
Okay.
nor composite.
So if you take the rule for prime, okay, so if I apply 1, so it is a natural number, but it has only one divisor, which is 1. So it does not have two divisors, right? So it is not a prime number. So again, if you come to composite rule, it is a natural number, but it is having only one divisor, so it is also not a composite number. So it is neither prime nor composite. Okay, fine. So now coming to checking whether a given number is prime or not. So the first thing is you should check whether it has exactly two divisors, right? So, but all the numbers except one will have two divisors, right? Prime numbers will only have two divisors, but all the numbers will have at least two divisors. One is 1, and other is the number itself, right? So now what we have to do, we have to check only from n plus 1, sorry, 1 plus 1, that is 2, from 2 to n minus 1. If there are any other divisors from 2 to n minus 1, then it is not a prime number. Got it? I'll put it another way. From 2 to n, sorry, 2 to n minus 1, if there are no divisors, then it's a prime number. Is it fine? Are you able to get it? So let us take 7. Okay, so numbers between 1 and 7 are 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right? So we have skipped 1 and 7 because we definitely know that 1 is going to divide 7 and 7 is also going to divide 7. Why to once again check whether it is dividing or not? So we just left 1 and 7. So the numbers in between 1 and 7 are 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Does any of these numbers divide 7? Yeah,
No.
no, right? So none of these numbers will divide 7. So 7 is a prime number. Okay. Now let us take 15. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right? So these are the numbers. But we have the second number itself, 3, which divides 15. So we can tell that 15 is not a prime number. Okay. Now let us write it using a for loop. So n is equal to int of input for I in range of, what is the start value? For everything the start value is 2 only, right? Yes. What is the end value? Others are able to understand?
And that is 15.
N. Just put a n. 2 to n only, right? Because you will not take the last value. So it is 2 to n. Yes. So if n is 7, it will take from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is 2 to n. Now what is the condition? If what? I, well, n mod I is equal to 0. 0 means what? It is dividing, right? So I is a divisor of n. So I have found one divisor. So I need not proceed further. I can just simply print out this composite. and then I can simply break, right? Are you able to get this? If n mod I is equal to 0, then it means that I is one value which is between 1 and 7, okay, 1 and n, which is dividing n, right? So it is a composite number, so I'll break. Are you able to follow or not? And now I'll put a else statement here, which is for the for loop. Print prime. So when this else statement will get executed is only if this I loop runs for the entire number of times without breaking. Okay. So from 2 to 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for all these numbers, this loop runs, then this else part will get executed. So if for none of these statements, for none of the values of I, this particular statement is true. This particular condition is true, which means what? None of the numbers are dividing n. Then it's a prime number. It comes to the else over here. Okay, fine. So in normal programming, what you have to do is you have to have a flag. Okay, flag is equal to 0, and here you have to set the flag, and then here if flag is equal to 0 itself, then print prime. This is the procedure if you don't have this else condition. Okay, now we have this else. Okay, I'll execute in this way, and then I'll show you without this flag. Okay. So 7 prime. Okay, 21 composite. 2 prime. 15 so composite. 17 prime. Got it? Okay. So now if I remove this flag, yes. Now execute 12 composite. 7 prime. 11 prime. Okay. 35 composite. Able to follow? Now understand the purpose of this else. Okay. Instead of having an additional flag variable, you can use this property, okay, else property for the for loop to do this. Got it? Any doubts? Okay, fine. Now, okay, so let's come to the next topic, list. Okay, sequence types. So under the sequence type, what is sequence type actually? Sequence types are nothing but the variables which are having multiple data, multiple values. Okay, these are called sequence types. So I explained the first class, right? We have string, we have list, we have tuple, we have set, and dictionary. So all these sequence types can contain multiple data under a single name. Okay. So list example is list of names. Okay, list of items. Okay. So list of books in a library. So all these are examples for list. You have multiple data under a common name. Okay. So So for all the sequence types, we have a very like a common term called CRUD operation. CRUD. It's not CRUD, it's CRUD. So can anyone tell me what is the expansion for this CRUD operations?
Create,
Yeah,
read,
great,
update, and delete.
great, super. Create, read, update, and delete. Okay, these four are the basic operations done on any sequence type. Okay, few sequence type would not support few of the operations because they might be immutable. We'll see that. Okay, so list is one sequence type which supports all these four operations. Okay. We see it one by one. So the first point is list is a sequence type, and list are denoted using the square brackets. Okay, and then list is mutable. So what is mutable? Mutable means once after you create, sorry, once after you create this particular object, okay, so you'll be able to update. Means you'll be able to modify the values or remove the values. Okay, so all those kind of modification operations can be done on this object. If it is possible, then it is called mutable. Okay, so you have string, you have tuple where this particular operation, once you create, you cannot update the particular value of those sequence types. They are called immutable data types or immutable sequence types. So list supports modification. That's why it is called mutable type. Okay, can be modified. Okay, fine. So let us see. So to create a list, either we use the list constructor. We call it a constructor. So we talk about constructors later. So just put L is equal to list of. This will create an empty list. Okay, this is one way, and this is the other way. Just put L equal to open square bracket and close square bracket. This will also do the same work. Okay, so this will also create an empty list. Now let us create a list with multiple data. So list is one data, okay, sequence type, which can contain any type of data inside it. Okay, it is not that only integers should be stored. We can store integers, we can store another string, we can store float, we can store another list. Okay, so I'll give you an example. One, two, three. I'm creating one more list. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and then you can create a string, another string, and another list which contains float values 12.3, 23.5. So also we can have a string, and you can also have one more list inside a list. Okay, you can nest it how much ever you want, and that is defined using brackets. Okay, I'll once again explain you everything, all of this. See here, this is the major list. Okay, that is the highest order list. So first we have this 1, 2, 3, and this is the list which is inside the list, and which is the fourth element of this list L. Okay, and you have this 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these are part of this inner list, and you have the fifth element which is high, sixth element hollow, and seventh element is this entire list. Okay, so totally there are 7 elements inside this list. And in the seventh element, we have two float values and a string and one more list. Okay, got it? So now let us see how to access the values of the list. See, all these list, okay, list is a sequence type which supports indexing. Indexing in the sense, like I'll be able to access a particular value by using its index. Index will always start from 0. Okay, 1. Okay, for this 1, the index is 0. For this 2, the index is 1. For this 3, the index is 2. And for this object, the index is 3. Okay. Now, let me tell you how this particular list is allocated memory with respect to the memory sheet. Okay, I will just show you. I will need one more row. Okay. So now, so you should be very careful in visualizing all the sequence types. Everything will be created as an object. Okay. So I don't. So everything is an object here. Okay, table, chair, okay, computer, water bottle. Okay, all these things are objects. So now this list is also an object. Okay. Now what this L going to store is it's not going to store the entire list in itself. It is just going to store the reference of this object. Reference is nothing but the address. Okay. So somewhere else in the memory, wherever there's a free space, in that particular location, this object will be created, and the starting point of that address will be stored in L. Okay. So I'll make it simple. So how many elements are there in this list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, there are totally 7 elements in the list. So what happens is there will be a block of 7 elements that will be created. Okay, and just change the color. So a block of 7 elements got created, and its starting address is 2004, right? That is what will be stored in L. Okay, so I think now it will be easy to visualize. I will just complete everything, and then I'll explain it again. So the first element is 1, right? So all the number data types which can be stored directly will be stored in the cell directly. Okay, so there complex numbers are there which will also again be created as an object. Okay, float value and number value, not integer value, will be stored directly in the memory, whereas complex values will also be created as an object. We are not going to deal with complex numbers, so you can directly write numbers over here. So I have 1, the second number is 2, the third number is 3. Got it? Okay, the first 3 values got stored in the cells. Now coming to the fourth value, which is again a list, right? Okay, this is again an object. So this will not be directly put inside this cell. What happens? It will find for some more free space. Okay, how many elements are there? 3. So a block of size 3 would be created. And its starting address is what? 3001. That would be stored over here. And the values inside this are 123, 34, 56. Okay, and then high. This is again another sequence type. Okay, so this will not be stored directly inside the cell. What happens? Again, a new object of size 2 would be created. And starting in this 3005, that would be stored over here. And here, what will be stored? We have two characters, right? So H, I will be stored separately. And we have hello, the same way here also. H, E, L, L, O. Okay, 3008, and that would be stored over here. And then we have the last object which is present here. And how many data are there inside this? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 data are there. 4 values are there. (3014). Okay, and the values that will be stored are 0.3, 3.5, and then again this is a string, right? JK is a string. So what happens? We find a new free space somewhere else in the memory. And here 2012 will be stored. And then you have another list with 2 elements. The values are, and then 3, 4, 5, 6. And its address will be stored over here. Fine. Are you able to visualize how a list will be stored inside a memory? Anyone, any doubts? So this is what will happen with respect to the memory if you create a list. Okay. Any doubts in this? If you have any doubts, you can ask me. No doubts. Okay. Okay, fine.
No, sir.
Yeah. So now tell me how to access this hello. I want to print hello. So what is the index of this hello?
1, 2, 3,
0,
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Right. So now tell me, how to print JK.
8.
Hmm?
I
0,
mean
1,
6 of 1,
6 of
6 of 2, 6 of 2.
yeah,
6 2.
of 2. Right. So L of 6. What this will do is this will give this entire object. So in this object, I have to access the third
Another
element
list. Third element.
of 2.
Okay. 6 of 2.
Okay, fine. Now how to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 1234.
6 of 3 of 0.
630.
630.
Yeah, correct. 6 of
3 of 1.
3 of 0. Okay.
0.
Yeah, good. Fine. How to print this O?
5 0 1 2 3 4 5 1
0 1 2 3 4 5 5 of
5 1.
how 1? I want to print this
Sorry.
O, not E.
Okay.
O.
Oh, okay. Oh. 5 0 1 2 3 4 5 4.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so 5 of 4. Again, for strings, you can apply the same slicing operation, see, indexing operation. Okay. We got this. So this is how you will access the variables or access the objects inside a list. Okay, so first we saw how to create, and then we are seeing how to access. Okay, now let us take a simple list, and there is one interesting operation called slicing operation. We see how this is working. That is equal to okay. So slicing operation is nothing but it will take me a subset of this set and sorry, not subset, sublist. Okay, it will take a sublist of this larger list and give it to me. Okay, suppose I want to take only from 3 to 6. Okay, only these four numbers I want. So what I will do is, so you know the range operation, right? Exactly this range operation, how it works, the same way slicing operation also works. So this particular operation is called slicing operation. So where we can slice a chunk from a larger value, okay, larger piece. So print of L. So how to use the slicing operation is we use a colon, okay, and first we should give the start value. So the start value is what? 0, 1, 2. I want from 3 to 6, okay, 2 and 6. I want 6 also to be included, okay. So I give a colon. So here also the end value is not inclusive, exactly like range. Okay, in range also end value is not included, right? So here also end value is not included. So what should I give to get 6 also? I should give
6.
6. Yeah. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have to give the index of 7. Then only I will not. I will get till 6. Okay. So index of 7 is 6. That's why here 6. Okay. If it's confusing, you can change the values. Understood, right? Any doubts?
Is it slicing or slide? What? Can you repeat the slicing?
Slice.
Okay, thank you.
So it is giving us sublist. Okay. Fine. Again, you can. There are three parameters associated with slicing. Okay. So two, that is the start value, end value. Can also give the step size. Okay. Now tell me how to take all the values from 2 to 10 and all the alternate numbers 2, 4, 6, 8. So the start value is 2, right? So 1 colon till the end, last value. So what is 10's index? Or you can also give 9's index, not a value. So you can give 8 or 9. Okay, and then a colon, I should do 2. Okay, got it? So 1 is the index of 2, 8 is the index of 9, and then 2 is the step size. So what I will get is 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, so now in range we skip certain values, right? If the start is 0, we need not mention the start value. If the step size is 1, we need not mention the step size. So like that we also have certain provisions over here. So these are nothing but if the start is going to be starting from the first, we need not mention the start value at all. Just give a colon, empty colon. And if the end value is going to be the last value, then you can remove the last value as well, end value as well. Understood? So just give a colon and another colon and then 2. So now what happens? It will start from the first index, that is 0th index, and then it will take all the alternate values because the step size is 2. Able to follow? So first 1, then 3, then 5, then 7, and 9. That would be the case over here. Okay. Now, yeah. So if you want it to be in reverse, want to print all the values in reverse order, just give L of colon colon minus 1. Okay, negative step size is allowed. So can you see all the values come in reverse? Okay, and then so here Python also supports negative indexing. Okay, where most of the other languages do not support negative indexing, Python supports negative indexing. What's the concept of negative indexing is that if I give minus 1, because 0 is already taken by 1, the first position, right? So we cannot use 0 for the last index. So if you give minus 1, the last value will be, the last value's index will be considered as minus 1. Okay, I'll just show you. Yes, the print of L of minus 1. Okay, now you'll get the last value. Understood? So now tell me, how will you take 6 using negative indexing?
-5.
-5.
Minus 5. Yeah, correct. Super. Okay, so you can also use negative indexing for slicing also. So from, I want to print from 10 to 5. So I'll just give print of L of minus 1 colon. So I should give 4's index. Then I can print from till 5, right? So what is 4's index? Minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Minus 7. And then a colon and minus 1. Okay, so you can just try with all other combinations. So you got the idea, right? So you can use negative indexing, and you can use my negative step size, all those things are there. And one more important thing is, suppose, see, there are only 10 elements here. If I give print of L of, suppose I I'm starting from the first index, okay? 0, 0 colon. By mistake, I put 100. Instead of 10, I put 100. Now, what do you think will happen?
Blank spaces.
Okay, good guess. Any other answer? Anyone wants to tell that it will throw an error?
Sir, it will consider the original last value.
Okay. So it will only print till 10.
Yeah, maybe.
It's not maybe, it is the correct answer. Okay. So even though if you give a larger end value, it will only run till the last value. After that, it will just stop the iteration. Okay. So if you put this internally, what is happening? Internally, there is an iteration, right? So then only the values from 0 till 100 will be taken. So there are only 10 elements. So it will stop at 10th location. That's all. Okay. So this is your output. for 0 to 100. Okay. Fine.
Sir,
Yeah.
so can you explain again that L of like when we are not putting start and end value and then that the second one?
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, always the first value before the first colon corresponds to start, and the second between the second colon and the third colon. Sorry, between the first colon and the second colon, you have to mention the end value. So if you don't mention anything, by default we consider the first and the length of the list. So what is the length of the list? 10, right? So this is nothing but 0, 10. Okay, 0 colon 10 colon 2. If you don't mention, this will
So that the values which we are putting is the index values or the
index values.
so sir we have till last index is till ninth now.
Yeah, that's what I told, right? We will put the length of the list. The start value would be 0 and the end value would be the length of the list.
To
Only if you
start
see,
index and length of the list.
yeah, start index, sorry. Start
Oh,
index and the length of the list.
oh.
Only if you give the length of the list, what happens is it will go till length minus 1,
Uh,
right?
I think
Yeah,
the end of the list will be 9.
sorry.
At the end of that list, I think it should from 0 to 9.
From 0 to 9. Here,
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
give 0 to 9, what happens is it will print only till 9. Why? Because the end index is not included.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. I understand.
Okay. Yeah. So if I don't mention the start value and the end value, this is what will happen. Okay, the start value will be 0 and the end value will be the length of the list. Okay, fine. Now, so I think it's done. Next. So how to take the input from the user and then create a list? Okay, we have certain operations like certain functions in respect to list. Okay, suppose you want to take n elements from the user, have the function called append. Okay, int of input. So the constraint in this is you have to mention what is the type of value you're going to give. Okay, for I in range of n. Suppose you want to give all integer values. Okay, I would convert this to integer and then add it. If you want everything to be float values, then you not mention that int. Okay, that's it. And after that, I will create a, before this for loop, I should create an empty list. And after getting the input from the user, I just append it to L. So append is nothing but adding at the end. Append, append. Okay, adding at the end of the. And then finally, let me print L. Okay, now if I execute, so first it is asking for the number of elements. Okay, and give 5. Now it is waiting for me to give the inputs. Okay. Let me give 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, understood? So I can also do this. I can just go tab over here. So you can see, you can visualize how the list is getting built. Okay, I'll give 6 elements. 1, have the first element. 2. So can you see in this list, 2 has got appended. And I give 3. So in this previous list, 3 got appended. 4, 5, 6. Okay. Finally, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is how you take the inputs and then append it to the list. And one more thing is you have to mention the data type here. Suppose all these values are going to be float values, you're going to mention it as float. If they're going to be string values itself, no need to mention it. Just do this. Okay, this is append function. And then suppose you have a list. So I want to insert insert 2.5 in between 2 and 3. Okay, so this append function will only add the element at the last. I cannot add it in the middle using append function. Okay, so how to insert a new element inside in between two elements? So in between 2 and 3, I want to insert 2.5. So how to do that is I have a function called insert. Okay, so I use val dot insert of. So first I should mention at which index I have to insert. See, 2.5 should be inserted between 2 and 3, means at which index it is being inserted? Between 2 and 3. So what is the index?
Index number 2.
Yeah, good. So index number 2. And then the value is 2.5. Print of L. Okay, got it? 2.5 got inserted between 2 and 3. Okay, so so these are two functions. Okay, append and insert are two functions. At a time, you can insert only one element, right? Append and insert one element at the last. Insert is used to insert one element in between in the specified index. Right? Okay, so suppose dot. So you have a function called extend. Okay, and inside this extend, you can give one more list. Okay, so for example, I give 6, 7, 8, print of L. Can you see? So using the command extend, you are able to insert multiple elements in a single time. Okay, so what will happen instead of this extend if I put append? What would have been the output? Can anyone tell me? Instead of this extend, if I put append, what would have
Creates a
been the
list
output?
of list. I mean,
Yeah, very good. Okay, so what will happen is this 6, 7, 8, 9 would have been a list. Okay, I'll just show that also. Understood? So this would be a single element. Okay. Whereas extend inserts every element or appends every element. Okay. Okay. Now, if you want to find the length of the list, there is a function called length. So 10 elements. Okay. So these are certain operations that can be performed on a list. Okay. So now, while taking for loop, I told you that for loop is especially used for iterating over sequence types, right? So this list is a sequence type. So how to iterate over a list is very simple. For I in L. That's it. Okay. Print of I. This would print all the values of a list. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we understood the purpose of for loop. Okay, so if you have any sequence type, may it be a list or a tuple, even strings also can be iterated like this. Okay, so it will go through each and every element of that sequence type. Now we can perform many operations. Suppose you want to add all the elements, you can write a logic over here. If you want to find the maximum or minimum, you want to find the average. Okay, if you want to perform many operations, you have the individual elements, right? So using those elements, you can just do the operations. So this in is also called the membership operator. Okay, so membership means it checks whether this particular element is present inside. So if I use this in a normal if condition, what happens is it checks for the presence. Okay, so okay, I'll just give an example for that as well. If there is no term called 23, right? If 23 in L or no need if condition, I'll just put a print statement. So print of 23 in L. So this will just return a true or false. If 23 is present in L, it will return true. Okay, it's not present, so it's the false. Okay, like in, there is also not in. Okay, it returns true. Fine. Now two more simple operations are there with respect to list. One is the concatenation. So concatenation is nothing but adding two lists. Okay, and forming a new list. Okay, it will form a new list with all the elements of two lists. Suppose L1 is equal to 1 comma 3 and L2 is equal to 4 comma 5 comma 6 and if I give L equal to L1 plus L2. That's all. This is a simple operation, concatenation operation, print of L. Okay, so two lists got concatenated. And this is a new list. Okay. And I told you that in the Excel sheet, a new memory will be allocated and then the address will be stored in L, all those things I told, right? So just to visualize that, we have a function called ID. So print of ID or index of L. Let me check. Yeah, okay. So this ID of L will give the address. Okay. So since the address is huge, right? The address will be very large. So I have taken a smaller address value. That's why 1000, $2000 here. This is the actual address inside the memory. Okay. Now I told you that these two lists will be concatenated, a new list will be formed, right? This means that L1, L2, and L, all three are different objects. So print off just to check whether these three are different objects. I'm just printing the IDs of all the three objects. So, okay, can you see? All the three values, all the three IDs are different, which means three are different objects. So let us play with the list and address. L1 is equal to 1, 2, 3, and now L2 is equal to L1. Print of L1 ID of L1. Print of ID of L2. What do you think would be the output? Is it going to be the same addresses or different addresses?
Different.
Why?
So
Is it
because
different?
when we are initializing L1 or when we are defining L1, one memory will be created, and then when we are defining L2, another memory will be created, and then all the contents of L1 will be shifted to L2 or will be copied to L2.
Copy to L2. Okay, a very good guess. But this is simple assignment. So whatever you told, that would happen if I use a function called copy. Okay, that's a function called copy. So whatever thing you told, that would happen if I use this function. Okay. As of now, I have just assigned the value of L1 to L2. Okay. See, both the addresses are same. So with respect to memory, suppose if these three elements are L1, okay, L2 is a new memory would be created for L2, but the value inside L2 is the same. So both L1 and L2 are pointing to the same memory.
Okay.
So how will you validate this? So how to validate this is, if I change the value of L1, that should get reflected in L2 also, right? So L1 of, suppose I'm changing the value of the second value to 2.5. Okay, 1 is equal to, or literal 2, okay, TWO. Now I print L1, I print L2. Okay, so I changed only L1, but L2 has also got changed, right? Which means that both are pointing to the same objects. So here itself it got validated just by changing one value, we got it confirmed. Okay, both are pointing to the same object. Okay, so if I put dot copy, now you see the difference. Okay, so both are different memories. Okay, different objects, so different memories. So and the change in L1 has not got reflected in L2, which means both are different objects.
So, but generally, list is not a primitive data type, right?
List is no, not a primitive data type.
So it takes different data. I mean, if you take two variables, then it takes two different addresses, right?
Yeah, L1 is different, L2 is also different.
Okay.
Right? So L1 is at 1002, L2 is at 1004. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, there is one more interesting operation. Suppose you want to create a list of 100 zeros. What would you do? Will you keep typing 100 times zeros?
No,
No,
sir.
right?
No.
So one way is by using append operation. Just put a loop and then append 0 100 times. Make the loop run for 100 times and append 0 each time. Okay. So first create an empty list and then for I in range of 100 L dot append of 0. Okay. Now if I print L, so you'll get 100 zeros, right? This is one way. Other way is just put L is equal to, see if I give 0 within square brackets, it becomes a list. Okay, with a single element 0. And I just put a star and then 100. So here this star is called the repetition operator. So this will repeat the 0 100 times. Okay. Int of 12. And get the same output. Got it? Okay. So now the time is already 7:07 for here. It's 2 hours 10 minutes is gone. So we'll have the doubt clearance session for another 20 minutes. Still tuple topic is pending, so that I will try to cover it in the next day. Okay. So now if you have any doubts, you can ask me.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in I practice, I guess the question number 7 in the day 2, I guess. So I was trying to run that question on Python 2.7, but it wasn't running properly. But when I tried to run the same code in Python 3, the output came. Why
No,
so?
uh, actually it should work. You know, I should check the code.
Yeah.
Only difference is that the print statement will require a bracket. That's it. No other differences about. Okay, let me see. See, better you use 3 itself, okay? You need to use 2.7. Which problem? Is it day 1 or day 2?
Yes, I'm just confirming it. Just a second.
So my question is fifth one, sir.
Card game?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so day 2, problem number 7.
No, okay. Actually, you got it accepted, right? You have any doubts in respect to your question?
No, I got it accepted, but that
Okay.
was that.
It's not running into constant.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just send me a screenshot of whatever code you have done in 2.7. I'll check and tell you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You have my number, right? You can just ping me in WhatsApp. I'll
Yes,
just check
sir.
and tell you. Now coming to the fifth problem. So anyone has solved this? Anyone wants to try to give the answer for this, or I can give the answer, but I want
I
people to
have
try.
solved it, sir.
Yeah, could you please explain what is this problem and how to solve this?
So basically, so they're playing a game wherein they're picking up 3 cards randomly from the from 4 type of card, and the cards are like spade, heart, club, and diamond.
Hmm.
So basically, we have to take the input from the user that which after picking up the card, what was the integer input, integer written on the card, and what was the character written. So if
Okay.
all the 3 cards had same character and integer, then we
Hmm.
have to print double bonanza.
Hmm.
If there is if the type of card is same but the numbers are different, So then they'll we have to print bonanza, and if nothing is similar, then we have to print no bonanza.
Okay, right. So how to solve this? Abhishek,
So
did you get the question?
Yes, sir, but I cannot. I cannot take input in one line, sir. S and
Okay,
5.
sir,
okay. How
I'm
normal?
unable to take that S and 5 in one line.
Okay, okay. See, it's very simple. You just write card, comma, digit is equal to map of str, comma, input dot split. Is it not working?
No, sir, I am getting EOF. Error as EOF.
Can do. See, it's working, right? See, you should give the statement 3 times. Okay, and give 3 different cards. C1, digit 1. C2, digit 2. C3, digit 3.
So once run it in our software like eBox.
Both are term. See, only Emacs doesn't mean that you have to build a separate compiler. It's
No,
normal
sir, but
Python compiler only.
yeah, but
I install it. Mm, 7th, right?
fifth one.
Map of str, comma, input dot split. You want to print all these 3? Okay, I'll print. Getting it?
Oh, it's working, sir. Yes.
Okay. So after this, you have to just write the logic. So what logic you have to write is just compare between the cards and the digits. So See, it is not that you should get only an integer, right? So even the integer can be considered as a string. So here 5 can be considered as a string itself. Instead of connecting to an integer and then comparing, you can just compare to strings also. It would work. Okay. Just compare all
Okay.
the C's and all the D's, and then respectively you can print whether double bonanza or no bonanza. Okay. Yeah. Next, any other doubts?
Yes, sir. Sir, I am having doubt in day one's 11th problem.
Day one, 11th problem.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So anyone having doubt in day two, any problem? Then you can go to day one. Any doubts in day one? Sorry, day two.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So what is this question? Is it a change amount change of yen using minimum number of rupees? Okay. Okay. Fine. See this problem. You have n, which is the total number, total amount, and you have these denominations. Okay, 1, 2, 5, 10, 50, and 100 are the different denominations, and you have to make and you can take any number of values from these denominations. I can take any number of 100 rupees, any number of 50 rupees, any number of 10 rupees. The thing is, you should form the minimum number of coins to form this n. So here, to form this 1200, I need 1200 rupees notes, 100 rupees coins. Okay, right? So that's why the answer is 12. So to take this 242, so for 242, first, how many 100 rupees can I fill it
Two,
with?
sir. Two.
2, right?
Yes.
So 100, 2. And what will be the balance amount?
Then 10 for
No, no.
10
What will be
for
the balance amount? Balance amount will be 42, right? And next is 50. Can I fill with any 50 rupees?
no.
No. So 0. So balance amount is still 42, right?
Yes.
Next is 10. Can I fill this with 10?
4.
Yes. 4. And the balance amount would be
2.
2. So with 5, nothing. So 0. So balance amount is still 2. And with 2, 1. Balance amount is 0. And 1, 0, 0. Right? So what is the total? 2 plus 4 plus 1. This should give you 7. So this is the logic. Do you want me to write the program as well?
Yes, sir.
I told you till no. I thought you told. Okay, fine. See, first I should take n input. Okay, and then I will take a number, yes, which is going to store the total number of coins that I'm using. Okay. So initially it is 0. Then first note I would try it using with 100. Okay, because these are defined, right? 100, 50, 10. So I should not go in the other way. I should not take first 1, then 2. So I should go in the decreasing order only. First 100, then 50. Okay. So if you do it in the other way, you will get the maximum number of coins. So yeah, first is 100. How to find out how many 100 rupees note I require? What operation should I use?
Sir, divide.
Yeah, very good. So S plus equal to N floor division 100. Right? If it is less than 100, anyway, it's going to give me 0. I need not worry about that. Okay. So now I have taken these many amount of 100 rupees notes. Now I want to find the remaining value, 42. So how to find 42? What operation should I use?
Modulus.
Yes, right. I have to use model operation. So I have to update it back in n only, right? So n modulo equal to what? I use 100. So I have to take modulo for 100 only. So just do this for all other nodes. 50, 10, okay, post only. 50. And then 10, and then 5, and then 1. Now you print. Yes. 7, right? Validate. Both are pass. When you submit, you'll get accepted. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Understood?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Any other doubts?
Sir, can we write the expressions in the normal form? Let me just check something and see.
Can you write expressions in?
As in n is equal to s plus equals to s plus equal to n floor division 50. Let's write it in the normal form. S is equal
Normal
to
form. Okay.
s plus n, yes, divided by
Yeah.
15. Let me see if I can get something.
S is equal to S plus N floor division 1.
Okay,
So this is the normal form.
okay. That's the normal form. So it will do the s plus n first before the floor division, right? What's the order of the valuation? Is it the n
Order of
floor
evaluation
division?
is first, yeah, this will get evaluated first, then addition.
It's added to, okay.
Because this is having more. Yeah.
That's okay.
Any doubts? Any other doubts?
So far, so good with this one. And then the number 12, if we can look at the number 12 too.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So Mountain View Middle School is all set for organizing their elaborate talent show event of the year, Star on Stage. It is a fun-filled event on the students to showcase for the students to showcase and build their confidence on the total audience who had come to the show. One third were boys, 3/6 were girls, and the rest of them were adults. If there were X more girls than adults, how many people were there in total? Help the school authorities to find the total people listed in the show. So X is given. X would be the input. Okay. So with the inputs given in the problem, so you should try to formulate an equation, right? So one third were boys. So let the total number be n. Okay. So among this, one third were boys. So 1 by boys is equal to 1 by 3 n. Okay, and then 1/3, oh sorry, 2/6 were girls. Girls is equal to 3/6. 3/6 is nothing but what we can simplify and write. It is just 1/2, right?
1/2.
Yeah. And then the rest of them were adults. Okay. So let the adults be A. So we can, using these three itself, we can form one equation. The first equation is nothing but n, that is total, is equal to 1/3. Okay, so it's actually what? B plus G plus A, right? So total number of boys, total number of girls, and total number of adults will form n. So we just need to substitute over here. Let us see the second equation. How to form the second equation is, there were x more girls than adults. So x more girls, which means that girls' strength is more and adult strength is less, right? So G is equal to A plus X. So what is A? A is equal to G minus X, right?
That's correct.
So just substitute this A over here. So now what is the final n? N is equal to B
B.
plus G plus G minus X, right? In place of
Okay.
this A, I'm substituting G minus X. So just simplify this. N is equal to B plus 2G
2G
minus
minus
X.
X.
So now let us substitute this 1/3n and 1/2n in place of B and G. Okay, so n is equal to 1 divided by 3 of n, and then plus 2G. G is nothing but 1/2n. So 2 into 1/2 is, will get cancelled, right? 2 and 2 will get cancelled, and finally we'll get only n, and then minus X. Okay, so now this n,
That's correct.
if I take this over here, both will get subtracted, 0, nullified, right? So the simple equation would become 1 divided by 3 n is equal to x, right? So this n and this n will get cancelled, and if I take this x to the other side, we get 1/3 of n is equal to x. So what is n? N is equal to 3x. That's it. Okay.
Okay. So kindly go a step back to the third but last line. N is equal to 1/3 n plus
This one,
n
right?
minus x.
Okay. Okay.
No,
Okay. So I
one more
just.
step.
You want to write one more step over here, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now
Line 14. Line number 14.
I'll explain what is happening. See here. See
Okay.
this 2G, right? There's nothing but 2 into 1/3. Sorry, 1/2.
Okay. I get it.
So this one.
I get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the answer is very simple. Just take x
Yes.
and then multiply it to
Yes.
3. You'll get the answer. So.
Okay. I got it. N is equal to 3x. All right, but I didn't get it this way. I used some interesting method to get it.
Okay.
So what I did was I used a ratio, and the ratio was 50. I used the inputs to actually get a 3x. So 50 over 50 is equal to 150.
Okay, fine.
So R of
Similarly,
50 is equal
70
to
is equal to
150.
210. So
Then
by seeing
70
the
is
inputs
equal to
itself.
210. Very good.
Okay, fine.
And I got a 3x. But I
But this is the
wasn't
actual
sure.
procedure.
So
So if
I
there
think
was only one input,
I started with this procedure, but I got confused along the line. I was getting a negative number, but I think it's
okay,
clear now.
good, very good. Yeah. So anyone else? Any other doubts you have?
So,
Okay.
but gradually,
Yeah.
the thing is piling up. Oh.
Yeah. You have 2 days, right? Sunday and Monday.
It's really
Sir, excuse me, sir.
it's really becoming something else. By the time you finish,
No. See,
yeah,
actually, you should. It is not that like it will not be the same way for everyone. Right? Some of them will feel it very easy and finish it up fast. Some of them will
okay,
take some time to do it. So it
okay.
is not a problem. Only thing is the effort you put. That's it.
So
Okay.
my actual
So
question is that those of us who will be a bit below, when the deadline is
no
approaching, would
problem.
we be
See,
given any extension to catch up?
yeah. See, it is not that you should finish on. See how much you try as much as possible. Okay. So
Okay,
once the course is over, the portal will be open itself. You have a lot of time to complete.
okay, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So how much ever is possible, you keep on trying. That's it. Only thing is you should keep trying.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So if you don't have any doubts, we can wind up the session. We can meet on Tuesday, right?
So the last one is the last
Yeah.
section. I'm not sure it's been uploaded
Yeah, it
in
is
the
uploaded.
inbox platform. It is
It is
uploaded there.
uploaded. Yeah.
I haven't
I
seen
can
it.
show you.
So okay. As at yesterday, I didn't see it. Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so the one.
Okay. Okay. But it seems it's not showing in my portal. Let me see.
See here, the last one. Python condition and looping statement lecture video. See, it will end with lecture video. Okay.
Is it under island for day 2?
Yeah, it is under island.
I don't have it. It's not in my account.
It's not there. Okay,
Yes,
fine.
sir.
You just ping me your
What
username.
I what I
Okay,
have and
email ID.
what I have under island is Python decision construct, then Python decision
Mm,
construct again, then Python decision construct again, and then the fourth one is Python decision constructs. So
only four are there. Then
I don't know
looping.
about
What about
others.
looping?
No, I don't have that.
Okay, I'll just check it. I'll just check it. But
Okay.
actually, I thought it was open for everyone. Okay, I'll just check it on from my side.
My portal, probably you should scroll down.
Yeah, you should. There are actually like how many? More than 10 sections. One,
Copy
two,
in
three,
and
four,
in the
five, six, seven,
in the
eight
link.
are there. Eight different sections are there. You just check it. Okay, Sam, no problem. You just send me a screenshot of whatever. I'll just send it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, friends. So we can wind up for today. We can meet in the next class. Thank you so much. Have a good day.